I mean, the joy I get out of them just giving me emails and saying, Denise, thank you. It's good. I like it.
And it's free.
Totally free. If you pay them, I yell at them. No money. But it's completely free.
So they're not supposed to tip the volunteers?
No. No tipping. No tipping, no money.
If they tip, do they get, you think, extra money back in their return or what? No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. We shouldn't talk that way.
No,
right?
we cannot talk that way at all.
But you guys get pizza when you go through the training, right? Do we make
Yes,
sure
we
there's
get
some
pizza.
pizza there for the training?
Yes, you do.
Pizza and soda. They
Yes.
do
I was
that.
there on a couple
Coffee.
of trainings. And
Yes, your Office of Public Information that coordinates the program for you does an excellent job, and we couldn't do what we do without what they do behind the scenes.
And I like to say thank you when you do stop by. They do enjoy when you come in and just say hello.
you think?
Oh, they do. They do.
figured
Yes, that's right. You
They
came
do.
last
They
year.
do
Yes,
enjoy
you
it.
did.
I was there again this
He
year in
came
January.
this year
yeah.
several times, yes, and they do enjoy when you just stop in and say hi.
Okay, everybody's hard at work, and they got all these books all around the table, and I'm like, this is too much learning for me on a Saturday. Yeah, they volunteer on a Saturday, right?
They take
Judith?
Yes.
6 hours out of their day every Saturday to come to training for about 4, sometimes 5 weeks.
And there's no remuneration. They just do it because
Pizza.
they want to.
They get the pizza.
They get the pizza. The requirements for someone to take advantage of these free tax services.
Well, what we're looking for, like we said, low to moderate income individuals. We're looking for individuals and families whose income is under $42,000. We don't do any complicated returns, anything more serious than above income or very complicated. Say you have employees, you run a business. We do ask you to go see a paid professional. Remember, it's individuals helping families, low income, do returns. We're not set there to be professionals to assist in very hard, complicated returns, simply W-2 simple returns. Some unemployed, some self-employed income, but what we ask you to do is call.
And if they come in with
phone
a
number.
complicated return, or they're looking for the free service, and it's beyond the scope of the expertise of the people there, do you tell them to go to a paid service? Or is
Well,
there
what we do
a
is
free
we try to
service for
work-
people like that at that level?
Well, if they're within the scope of the volunteer program, there's certain returns we do and do not do. We may suggest they go to some of our sister sites, which would be at the Elizabeth Library, and that would be the ARP or the Community Access. They might be able to do more complicated returns than other sites. However, if they're generally out of the scope of the program, and some returns are out of the scope, we will not touch some very difficult returns. We do recommend they seek professional assistance.
And do you run into that, Judith? Do you send people elsewhere? Do you basically, the people come through you? Or?
No, for the most part, the people that come to us, because actually they're screened to some extent through the public information when they call to ask for an appointment for tax preparation. There's a certain screening process. They answer questions, and they're either screened out. No, I don't think we turned anyone away last year.
So somebody making $150,000 would get screened out through the initial process, and
Right.
they wouldn't.
We
They
don't
would
see
never
them.
make it to the site.
And we did have a couple of cases where we had questions that wasn't that the return was complicated, but there were a few issues, and we cleared them up, and the person came back the following week with the information that we needed. So we do follow up if we run into problems.
Have we increased our ability on earned income tax credit give backs here in the city of Elizabeth? Give back's the wrong word, but getting people that money.
Making more available and
Yeah.
well known. Yes, we are. It's getting much better in the city. More people learning about the program. Within the scope of the program itself, we've had a little bit more individuals come in and get their returns done in the VITA program to get the earned income credit, which is what we're trying to do. We're really trying to promote that.
Judith and Denise, we're going to take a break and then come back and talk more about the earned income tax credit as well as the VITA program.
Thank you.
Please stay with us after these messages. Welcome back to our city. For the second half, I'm pleased to be joined by another volunteer, Mr. Ulysses Vasquez. Ulysses, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And it's good to have Denise and Judith back. And one of the things, we'll start with you. How did you find out about the program?
Well, same thing with the newspaper. I read my local newspaper, Suburban News, and I saw an ad about it, and I thought it was very interesting, knowing that I was going to be able to learn something new and interesting, such as taxes, and at the same time, I would be able to serve my community.
So you heard about it the same way Judith did. This is
Yes.
your first year or second year?
No, this is my second year.
So tell us about some of your experiences last year and what made you come back.
Oh, well, it has been, for me, it has been a very rewarding and fulfilling experience, knowing that I've been able to serve my community by filing tax returns. And it's just a thrill knowing that I'm able to offer this service, this great service where, we do all these filing of tax returns free of charge, and, the people come and, they get the refund. And the service we provide is free of charge, and it's just a satisfaction knowing that, usually after after I finish a return, you know, it's just a satisfaction knowing that I did my job and I've helped another person. And it's just that feeling that keeps me coming every year.
Now, Ulysses, you told me you're a senior in high school.
Yes, that's correct.
And you're here volunteering.
Yes, I am.
What do your friends say when you tell them, hey, listen, I'm going to Elizabeth to volunteer to help people fill out their taxes?
They don't believe me at first.
They don't believe you.
No.
And then you got to convince them.
Yeah, I do. But then after that, they actually acknowledge that I'm doing this.
And Denise, we talked about the sites in the city of Elizabeth. Why do you think this program is so successful, not only here, but elsewhere around the country? Because of people like Judith and Ulysses? It's got to be a reason.
It is. Actually, it is. Because when they come in, they make them feel welcomed. It's local. It's in the neighborhood. They realize someone wants to help them. They're also, we have the same availability at the IRS offices. But sometimes it's better just not, a lot of people don't want to go see us. So they enjoy going to other sites.
I don't want to go see you, I can tell you that.
In the neighborhood, like the two sites that our volunteers work for here, they're at a senior center. So it's very local, it's in the neighborhood, they can walk to it. It's available at night. You're not going to find an IRS office open at night, basically do a return. Their availability to the public is astronomical.
You can go to an IRS. You can go to an IRS office during the day and get a tax return done.
You can go to an IRS office during the day and get a return done, especially during filing season.
Without an appointment?
Some offices do offer appointment. However, if you do walk in, they'll try to slip you in. Like they'll try to make a slot for you to help you. Really? But we are very exceptionally busy there, and we
so you have to wait. You get it done, but you have to wait.
Yes, you will have to wait.
And
we look forward to the VITA sites to help us out during those returns during the filing season.
And sometimes somebody will forget to bring a piece of identification or a form, and we say, well, do you live nearby? And very often they do, and they'll run home and get it and come back, and we'll pick up where we left off.
You'll still be there, and so.
Right.
Judith, as a volunteer, what's the waiting time for people when they come in? Are they waiting a long time, or not really?
Not usually. They have an appointment, and the appointments are set up so that based on the number of volunteers that are working at the site and the number of computers available. So we try to do our best to stick pretty close to the appointment times.
Now the computers that are available, you raise a good point. How are they available? There are the city computers with the necessary program on them?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It's made available through the IRS, and because we're at the senior centers all have.
So you all have your own codes or something to plug into the IRS code? Is that how it is? So
yes, they all have their own passwords to get to the sites to do returns, to make the returns secure.
Okay, and then so whatever information these folks are giving you as volunteers, no one else is looking at it, and you just send it on its merry way.
Yes.
Exactly.
And Ulysses, one of the things I asked you, what made you to be a volunteer besides just looking at the Suburban News? Do you want to do this in college? Do you want to do accounting in college, or what do you want to do?
Well, I wanted to serve my community in some way, help members of the community. So towards that end, I wanted to do something to that end. I already had a long tradition of being part of my community. I did recycling. In my high school, I tutored kids, and at the local church, I became a lector. So I wanted to continue this tradition, and I thought the VITA program was such a great opportunity in which I could do this. And it's just the best part about it is that I'm able to learn taxes and at the same time be able to serve my community as well. And I knew that the tax program involves skills such as computer skills, interpersonal skills, since we have to communicate with our client. And I thought I was very competent in those areas. Since
you don't look like you're lacking in that area. You're probably doing real well there. Do you speak another language? Do you speak Spanish, Ulysses?
I'm a trilingual. I speak English, Portuguese, and Spanish.
So if somebody comes to you, Judith, that speaks Portuguese or Spanish, and Ulysses is there, you'd say,
not if it's Spanish, because I speak Spanish.
You speak
too.
Spanish.
Yes,
so,
but if it's Portuguese, yes, then I defer them to Ulysses.
Okay, but you speak Spanish fluently, so you could help them as well.
Yes.
And that happens, I guess, in our city, correct? I mean,
Oh yes. Yeah. As a matter of fact, the first 3 returns I did this year were all in Spanish.
They were all in Spanish.
In fact, I haven't done one in English yet.
Oh, okay. That's a great asset then.
And last year I did one in French.
Oh
wow.
Oh.
There was a woman that came in and she spoke French, and she spoke English, but she felt more comfortable explaining herself in French. So very often I can speak about what's happening in English and she'll understand, but she felt more comfortable explaining from her personal standpoint what she wanted to convey to me in French.
That?
Yes.
Oh.
Very diverse sites.
I was going to say.
Yes.
Well, that was just the luck of the draw. She didn't come in expecting anyone to understand French, but she thanked me. She said, in the city, so many people speak other languages, but very few people know or understand French. And she just felt happy that I tried.
Oh, very good.